Fit and 10 Nation, it is day 2 of the Fit and 10 challenge, and I am going to get right into some questions, but first, just a few reminders. One, any questions that you have, please send me them through Slack, either privately or in the general thread. It just gets hard for me to manage them all when I get some through email, some through text on my personal line, some through the business line. It's easier if it's just all in one place for me, so please send your questions in through Slack. 2, I want to remind you all that you should have the codes for the workouts. I sent them out on Friday. If you don't have them, please let me know. Maybe your email rejected it. I'm not sure, okay? But I did send them all out on Friday, and people are asking me, when can I start the classes? You can start them now, okay? You can start them, you should have started them yesterday, okay? But it's fine because we're not doing them every day. So you can start them today, all right? Or tomorrow for that matter. Okay, so let's get right to some questions here. So I got a bunch of questions yesterday about cardio workout suggestions. So anything that's gonna elevate your heart rate, okay, and to the heart rate levels that I want you to get to. So obviously with your intervals, you need to be doing something that's going to raise your heart rate a little bit faster. So, I'll just get right into some suggestions rather than trying to explain it here as to why these would work, okay? So doing steps. Okay, so going up steps, that right away will make your heart rate, you're obviously gonna have to work harder with that because you need to carry your body upstairs, especially if you move faster going up the stairs than what you typically would. You can power walk. Okay, you can do anything like that's going to involve basically moving your body from the floor and up. So you could do like a burpee or just getting up and down off the floor. I don't know how many of you have a stationary bike, but you could do stationary bike. You could even do a road bike and just have like a small hill nearby, or any kind of hill for that matter, because you can just go up and down it. And that will work great. You could do jumping jacks, basically anything that gets your heart rate up. Okay, so anything that gets your heart rate up. So basically any form of movement. All right, and so this kind of brings me to my next question, because people were saying, well, I got one person asking me, the workout on Saturday that I did on Zoom was a cardio workout. This is a really good question because we know we have the cardio workouts, and then we know we've got the weight workouts. But the reality is this: actually, all the working out that you do, even weight training, that is still cardiovascular. Okay. Now, the Zoom classes in general will be a little more cardiovascular than what a typical weight training session would be. But weight training is still cardiovascular. It's just that we're not really exhausting the cardiovascular system when we weight train. Okay. Well, actually, that's not true, because I think you'll quickly find that when you do, hopefully we will be able to do some classes in the gym. But if you do something like a squat or something with 10 reps with a decent amount of weight, you're going to be breathing super, super hard. So that's not entirely true. But basically what I'm saying is generally when we talk about cardiovascular workouts, we are usually referring to exercise where the primary energy system is the cardiovascular system. That's what's being used. When we're doing weights, the primary system that we're using, or the primary system that we're trying to focus on, is we can call it the strength system or the power system. I think strength is a better name for it. So the strength system. But that's not to say that we're not using the cardiovascular system, okay? Any form of exercise that you're doing, whether it's a strength training or something more cardiovascular based, is all cardiovascular because it involves movement, and for that movement you have to produce energy, right? For movement to happen, you have to produce energy. Okay? And the more energy that you need to produce on the spot, the more work the body's got to do, the higher the heart rate's going to go up. So everything is cardiovascular based. It's just what we tend to group as cardiovascular versus non-cardiovascular. The reality is it's all cardiovascular, okay? So even if you're doing weight training sessions in the gym, and yes, they would be different than the Zoom classes, and yes, there would be breaks happening, still going to be very cardiovascular based. You're going to do movements, and when you finish the movement, you're going to notice that you're breathing heavy and your heart's pounding, okay? So where am I going with this? The workouts on Zoom are, yes, they are going to be a little more cardiovascular based. We kind of have to go that route because we don't have the load to provide you with. So we got to burn calories through doing a little more volume, but there's still resistance being involved. More resistance than what you would typically have in a a purely cardiovascular type form of exercise, like let's say going for a jog or something. Okay. So specifically, this person asked about a Saturday's workout being cardio based. I didn't see that class in particular, but I think probably a lot of the classes will be similar to that. Some classes you might be like, oh, that one wasn't as cardiovascularly draining as maybe this one, but they will all be to some degree cardiovascular. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Basically, what you did on Saturday, although it may have been a slightly harder class, all the classes are going to be more cardiovascularly imposing than what the typical workouts would be. Okay, again, because we need to provide more volume in place of the weights that we would typically use, because we don't have the weights. We don't have enough load. Okay, but you're still doing resistance training in those workouts. All right. Coke Zero. So somebody want to know specifically about Coke Zero. Okay, so is there any implications with that in the program? Okay, short answer, no, there isn't. But you want to be careful because most pops are pretty acidic, so you want to be careful with that. But when it comes to the quote fake sugar, yeah, there doesn't seem to be any evidence. There is suspicion, but there doesn't seem to be any evidence that this is going to be unhealthy for you. Okay, now that's not to say it's not. That's not to say that it's not going to have perhaps any long-term implications. We don't know. From what I can see, the jury is still out on that. But there is suspicion in that area. When it comes to body composition, having things like aspartame or acesulfame potassium or any of these other sweeteners, stevia for that matter, it's not going to have any bearing on your body composition. It's not going to have any bearing on you being able to burn less or more fat. Okay? All right, so totally fine to have. When it comes to condiments, okay, so somebody asked me about spaghetti sauce. Yeah, I mean, again, I want you as much whole food as possible. But yes, you could have spaghetti sauce. You just have to measure it and then enter it into your app. Okay, now obviously spaghetti sauce is going to be, it's mainly tomato based, and tomato is going to be carbohydrate. So it's going to be mainly a carbohydrate type food. Okay. All right, how am I doing? That's already 8 minutes. Holy moly. Okay. Message of the day is this: if it is to be, it's up to me. Okay, or better yet, it's up to you. That's what I mean. But it's something that you would repeat to yourself. If it is to be, it's up to me. That is, if it is to be, it's up to you. So it's up to you to do the things that you're supposed to do. Now, there will be some mistakes made, not on purpose. Okay, maybe some on purpose because maybe you're just not feeling well or whatever. But I think you understand what I'm saying is if you want the change to take effect, you have to take initiative, and you've got to will it yourself. Okay, so take all the information I give you, put it into practice as best as you can. All right, do the work. All right, so again, if it is to be, it's up to you. Okay, it's up to you. So again, this all boils down to, like I said yesterday, the fact that you all have the capability of saying, yes, I will do this, and then just doing it. That's all you have to do. And no, I will not do, these things that I'm not supposed to do, okay? So that's all I'm going to say on that, okay? If it is to be, it's up to me. I forgot to mention this yesterday, and I always say it on my videos, and probably maybe the first time I haven't said it, but I'm going to remind you guys, you need to submit and commit. This is in your manual, by the way. You need to submit and commit every day to this challenge. And of course, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and give daily gratitude. You will feel much better. I guarantee you will feel much better. And I'll talk to you all very soon. All right? Day 2 in the books. See you guys.